What's happening, everybody? Greg Ehrenberg here from OddsShopper. It is time to start off another week. So, doing the usual here, going to be breaking down the top projected bets over an OddsShopper. And as you guys come in, do me a big favor, help keep our content free by liking the video and subscribing to the YouTube channel. It does help us grow our YouTube channel, and we appreciate it. And it is one of the main ways we're able to keep putting out free content here. And as for OddsShopper, if you guys want to check it out, we have a 7-day free trial available that you get access to by clicking on the link below. And here's why you might want to take advantage of that. I'm going to pull some results up on the screen. This is my first week in May. So these are the betting results that I had using OddsShopper last week. And yeah, really profitable, made about $3,200. And this is mainly just from blindly tailing a bunch of the bets and the odds that are available at OddsShopper. And I'm about to pull them up on the screen to walk through it. We are projecting well to start off Monday. So I have the NBA games up here. Once again, we have two NBA games. We have the Miami Heat against the New York Knicks and the Los Angeles Lakers against the Golden State Warriors. And as we go through some of the best projected bets here, Bam Adebayo under 8.5 rebounds. Bam has been extremely inconsistent over the course of the playoffs and all over the place, especially if you guys play DFS. One day he's putting up a triple-double and scoring 1 million fantasy points. Then he scores like 20 fantasy points. And the rebound results also have not been all that great for him. So actually, Bam Adebayo, in the last 5 playoff games, he has been at 8 or under in 3 of them. And then also, if you just kind of look at some of the odd shopping numbers here, PointsBet has under 8.5 at -120. And then a lot of other books, -140 as high as -152. So if you guys use PointsBet, under 8.5 rebounds, -120, pretty good looking odds there. And Anthony Davis, under 25.5 points. Anthony Davis has had some individually big games, but overall for the playoffs, I don't think his numbers have been quite as great as a lot of people might think they are. And yeah, he's had some great individual games. And one other thing that's kind of stood out to me in particular about this matchup against the Warriors, it does seem like Golden State in the last couple of games getting away from Kevon Looney guarding Anthony Davis and playing center, and instead going with Draymond Green and JaMychal Green starting front court. It has made life a lot more difficult for Anthony Davis. Last 2 games, he has scored 25 and 11 points, so averaging 18 points per game over the last 2 since the Warriors made their starting lineup change. That's not necessarily the end-all, be-all, but I do think the physicality of Draymond Green presents more issues than what Kevon Looney presented, especially because Anthony Davis had such a big quickness and agility advantage over Kevon Looney. But overall, if you look at Anthony Davis's results from the playoffs, he is averaging right around 20 points per game, just slightly over 20. So I actually do think 25.5 is a pretty high number. There's a few books that are offering that. So under 25.5 for Anthony Davis projects well. I could get behind that for sure. And then some other things to look at. By the way, Gabe Vincent over under 2.5 threes. This is a pretty big line for Gabe Vincent, especially because we have seen some games where Kyle Lowry has played really well, and it's cut into the playing time of Gabe Vincent at times. If you look at Gabe Vincent, 30 minutes last game. He played 41 minutes the game before, but keep in mind there was no Jimmy Butler, 33 the game before that. So looks like we're getting, when everybody's healthy, right around 30 minutes from Gabe Vincent. And for the season, this is a guy who is averaging 1.8 threes per game in 26.5 minutes. I don't think giving him an extra, 3.5, 4 minutes here is enough to reliably expect him to make 3 3-pointers. So I do like under 2.5 threes for Gabe Vincent. So that's highlighting some of the stuff that stands out the most to me about the NBA slate. And let's move on over to baseball here as well. Move over to the player cards and see what it is that's projecting well. And yeah, Tony Gonsolin's somebody who I've bet the under strikeouts on a bunch of times this year. And Gonsolin's a great pitcher. But one thing that's definitely been a little bit of a hindrance to him, at least in terms of his strikeouts to start the season, is he was injured to open up the year. And then we've just seen the Dodgers be pretty cautious with his pitch count. So trying to pull that up in front of me on my other screen here. But as you look at Tony Gonsolin this year, it's just hard for him to rack up a lot of strikeouts when he isn't pitching particularly deep into games. And like I said, a lot of that is because of the pitch count. He has not thrown more than 80 pitches in any start this year. He also hasn't completed 5 innings in any start. Last 2 starts, 4 2/3 innings, 3 1/3 innings. With that in mind, over under 4.5 strikeouts for Tony Gonsolin. We have it winning slightly more often than it loses. And there are books that are offering the 4.5 strikeout under at plus money. Tipico has it at plus money. Bet Rivers has it plus money. BetMGM has it plus money. FanDuel has it at plus money. So all of that are going to rate out as plus EV bets on the under strikeouts for Tony Gonsolin. Let's see what else is looking good here. Nestor Cortez over 6.5 strikeouts taking on the Oakland A's. And kind of anytime any pitcher's going up against the Oakland A's this year, and this is going to be the same for some of the hitters as well, it's going to be a good spot for them. The Oakland A's are terrible this year. Their starting pitching, terrible. Their bullpen, terrible. Their offense, terrible. Their defense, terrible. So anytime that there is something that projects well on an over for the Oakland A's, I'm usually going to jump at it because this team really is a piece of dog shit. They are terrible. They're not committed to winning, but they did have the gall, the owner at least, had the gall to ask the public to fund a like $1 billion stadium, which didn't end up happening. That's why the Oakland A's are moving. They're going to be moving. When do they move? Like next couple years or something like that. The Oakland A's end up moving to Las Vegas, but I mean, neither here nor there. They're going to be moving, and they suck. Tanner Beebe has a great matchup against the Detroit Tigers, and Beebe looks like he is one of the best pitching prospects in baseball, and he's looked like it in his first handful of starts. So Tanner Beebe, not only is he pitching really well so far, but he gets an incredibly good matchup. The Detroit Tigers, for the last few years, the Tigers have been not only one of the worst offense in baseball, but one of the worst offense baseball against right-handed pitching. And they also strike out a ton against righties, which should line up pretty well for Tanner Beebe, who has made a couple of starts so far this year. If we include his minor league starts as well, he actually has an ERA right around 2, but just his big league starts, 2.45 ERA, 2.04 expected ERA. Strikeout stuff has been excellent, 30.2% strikeout rate. So it is only two starts, so we're not looking at a massive sample size, but still 11 innings, 13 strikeouts, and a good matchup for Tanner Beebe today. So I like him for over 5.5 strikeouts. Let's see if anything stands out about NHL today. Let's see. So pulling up the NHL lines, and looks like there's a couple of goal scorers that are popping up. Always fun when I have to try to pronounce these guys' names. This should be easy. Ivan Barbashev. I hope that's right. Well, anyway, he's plus 470 to score a goal on FanDuel. We have him projected to score a goal 13% of the time. See, no other book has this north of plus 275 other than Caesar. So see, FanDuel is offering a line way different than the industry on Barbashev to score a goal. And I believe that is the same case with Evan Bouchard. Yeah, plus 500. And every other book has it at plus 310. Caesar's plus 370, but you're getting that at plus 500 at FanDuel when we have him projected to score a goal 18% of the time. So good for an 8% expected ROI. So a couple of goal scoring props, longer odds bets, but they are ones that are popping up as plus EV. And these are some kind of bets that some of the goal scoring bets, some of the home run bets for baseball that have been profitable for me. They're not going to win every single time, which is why, if you go back to my betting results for the week, you'll see that, all right, I lost more bets than I won, but a lot of it is because of some of those plus EV long odds goal scoring props where if I'm betting somebody plus 500 to score a goal, and let's say it wins 1 out of 3 times, that's going to be a losing record, but still profitable overall for the week. So some of the stuff that rates out well, like some of these long odds goal scoring props, occasionally we'll see some of those long odds home run props. These are some of our highest projected ROI bets, but keep in mind, they're not going to win like 80% of the time or anything like that. Still good bets though. Let's check out a PrizePicks parlay. One of the other perks of being here in OddsShoppers, if you guys use sites like PrizePicks or like Underdog, we do have parlays that you could build in here for those sites. We've got projections for all of it. And by the way, also, if you guys have any other questions or anything like that for myself, check out Chalkboard. It is a free to download chat app. It's geared for sports betting. We have a channel in there. It's totally free to download our channel and get into it and all that. So if you have questions for me, go check that out. I also post some additional bets in there. Anyway, 6-leg flex parlay. We have this with a 16% expected ROI. It's Jacob Stallings to have at least 1 hit today. Just need 1 total base. Aaron Hicks to have 1 hit today. Kyle Freeland over 3.5 strikeouts against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Tanner Beebe again over 5.5 strikeouts. Nestor Cortez, talked about him before, over 6.5 strikeouts. And then Ahmed Rosario under 1.5 total bases. This 6-leg flex parlay, we do have projected for a 16% expected ROI over on PrizePicks. So that is going to do it for me today. If you guys have any questions or comments for myself, like I said, go check out our Chalkboard channel. If you haven't done yet, do us a big favor. Like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope your week starts off great. Let's win some bets. See you guys back here tomorrow.